Welcome back to Hartfelt Beer Reviews. My name is Kyle Hart. Today I'm reviewing something exceptionally special. Something I've never heard of. Something that shouldn't even be in the area that I live in. I live in the Milwaukee area in Wisconsin. And as far as I know, this company is really only ever in New York. And they don't distribute. So the fact that this is here makes little to no sense to me. But I'm super hyped about it because we are going to review today an collaboration brew between Equilibrium out of New York and Other Half out of New York. Other Half is world renowned for their IPAs. They have arguably the best IPAs in the entire world, bar none. Even Treehouse, I've had several of their beers. They don't even come close to Other Half. This is a double IPA. Unfortunately, I have no idea when this was canned. Hopefully that it's within recently, because these beers have like a 3 week to 3 month shelf life before they really start to fall off. Like I said, there's no canning date on the bottom of the can or on the side of the can. It doesn't even tell me what style it is on the can. I actually had to look it up to know it was an IPA and not a stout or a collaboration of a lager or some kind. I completely assumed it was going to be a IPA, but you can't really take that risk. This could have been anything else. It says out of Middleton, New York, collaboration between Equilibrium and Other Half, and it's Dreamwave Fluctuation. Sounds fantastic. So there's no description on the can. There's no way of me knowing anything about this beer. So I actually had to look it up. I got another phone here. I'm going to read you the description. It says 8.1% alcohol by volume. Think of a galaxy forward fluctuation plus Other Half's dream treatment. A fluctuation from beta brain waves to alpha and theta waves shift your consciousness from alertness, cognition, and concentration to a dream state of relaxation, visualization, creativity, and intuition. A vivid visual imagery. Sam from Other Half came up with this brew with us, and we discussed potential synergies between our two heavily hopped styles. We ended up taking Equilibrium's Fluctuation grain bill and adding oats, and for the first time in Equilibrium's commercial application, Lactose, and the in line with Other Half's dream treatment. This beer was followed by an aggressive dry hopping with Galaxy and Citra hops. So Other Half makes Dream series of IPAs with lactose and usually dry hopped with several different types of hops, which are out of this world. I mean, I can't tell you how fresh, dank, citrusy fruit, bombs that these are. So I've let this sit out for about 2 minutes just to let it come up to a little bit. You don't want this to be warm like a stout or anything like that. You want to drink them cold. My refrigerator is just super ice cold, so I didn't want it to be too crazy. I'm going to go ahead and give this a roll to kind of just to get the sediment kind of going and so it doesn't all settle to the bottom. Like I said, never even heard of this beer. I've heard of Equilibrium. I've heard of Other Half. This blows my mind, the fact that I literally walked into a grocery store in Milwaukee and found this. I don't know if they've started, collaborating that are distributing. That would be news to me because I try to follow the beer industry quite religiously. But we will find out. I'm going to assume that this is going to just be classic Other Half. Just Galaxy, any kind of hop, really. I mean, they use rare hop varietals. Medusa hops. They use things that just really aren't used often. But this is going to be something special. Like I said, I usually don't like going in blind to beers completely without knowing any backstory. But I've read the description. I'm going to go ahead and open it, give a pour, the aroma, the appearance, and then the final taste. Cheers. I'm so pumped for this. This is ridiculous. The only thing that bothers me is I have, again, no idea of knowing how old this is. This could be 2 months old. I doubt it, because I go to this place pretty often. I haven't seen it recently. But let's find out. In appearance alone, this is just juice. Slightly hazy. It's not quite as, I should say, bright orange, like orange juice, like some that I've seen. But it does have a juice-like appearance. Very, very bright, off-white, I should say. Head about 1.5 inches or so, or I should say fingers worth. My apologies. Oh man, this brings me back. I've got a friend that lives in Buffalo. The friend is actually Jonathan Trovo, who's my partner on Hartfelt Beer Reviews, and he can get other half like without even trying, and it really just bothers me because I'm so jealous. But anyway, let's dive right into the nose. This is something beyond special. Just from the aroma, I mean, this is heavenly. Pineapple, mango, papaya, distinctive tropical kind of kiwi, very subtle resinous notes. Oh man, this is just a juice bomb, and this is what makes these so special. And these are all these flavors, you know, the pineapple, the citrus, the orange, the stone fruits, the things like that. These aren't flavorings. These are all coming naturally from the dry hopping of the beer, which just is spectacular. I can't wait any longer. I'm too pumped. I gotta go dive right into this. Cheers. Oh, this is a personal moment. Oh, God. This is so good. This is so good. Like I said, we don't get these here, ever. Now, I've had my fair share of milkshake IPAs or double IPAs, triple IPAs, what have you. I've had sour IPAs. I've really had the gambit of beer styles. And I am more partial to stouts and barrel-aged stouts than anything else, but there's a soft place in my heart, in my soul, for brewing companies that have the care, you know, the patience, the love, and the craft, and the intelligence to brew something so unique. It has so much complexity that, you know, 5-10 years ago, this wasn't something that existed. Sure, there were a few, like, beers by Ale Asylum called Heady Topper or Focal Banger that were around, but those were brewery only. You know, you had to go to Vermont to get these when and if they were available. To the everyday beer drinker, you know, over the age of 35, this is not something that enters their imagination because they think it's just too much. They think it's either it's too complex, or they say, oh, I don't like fruit in my beer, or I don't like sweet beer, I just want beer. Which, to me, always bothers me, because how are you going to know what's out there in the world unless you explore? And there's nothing wrong with liking your standard domestic lagers, or your European lagers, or your pilsners, and things like that. But there is so much more out there than just one particular style. And this is the epitome of what love and care and understanding of beer can really become. Let's go ahead and dive deep again. Like I said, just looking at this, I mean, it looks like fruit juice, just fruit puree. It's fantastic. Now, it's not as viscous as like a sour would be. You know, you can get some kettle sours that are juice-like this, that are almost sappy, that are almost, they're viscous almost. Milkshake-ish. You're not getting that with this. But this does have lactose added to it with the dream treatment that other half does, which is apparent just in the aroma. Oh, man, this... I implore anyone to go get this. I got this at Syndic's grocery store on Capitol Drive in Brookfield, Wisconsin. It's about 15 minutes outside of Milwaukee. They had about 5 cans left. If it were me, I'd highly doubt that they're still there. But at the same time, there's no advertisement. There's no one knowing that it's there unless you either know someone that works there or happen to stumble upon them if you're in the area, go get this beer now because it's not going to last, and I don't expect these collaborations to continue out this way. Of course, there are beer collaborations in the area by the brewing companies, but not other half in equilibrium. This is top of the mountain. And it's got the freshness, the slight acidity of juice. I mean, I could easily trick someone that didn't drink beer, or if they did drink beer, they didn't drink this type of beer. Pouring this into a standard glass, with their morning breakfast, and they would easily think, if you couldn't taste the alcohol, which you can very so slightly, that this was just juice. I mean, it's that unique is the only word I can come up with. It's that special. Like I said, just on the nose. Big, massive fresh pineapple. It's almost like you're cutting a fresh pineapple. And I can smell it from here. I can smell it from the can, which is how insane that is. So this has to be super fresh. This can't be more than 3 weeks or less old from canning date. And if it is, then it's held up exceptionally well. You get like a papaya, not a strawberry papaya, but a papaya. You get a noticeable tropical kind of kiwi kind of finish. And it's velvety in the middle of the mouth. That, you know, the lactose treatment that they've done to make it creamier and more body to it. And when I say IPA, a lot of people that are either inexperienced or just don't know a whole lot, and, you know, of no fault of their own, they think, oh, IPAs are bitter. They're super bitter. Not always. There are many styles of IPAs that are not bitter. This is one of them. On the Untapped, actually, this says it has 0 IBUs, which I find hard to believe. I feel like they just didn't rank it, or they didn't write it down. Now, I'm not that good. I couldn't tell you pinpoint an IBU or an international bitter unit from 0 to 100 what this would be, but it's only very subtly bitter. I mean, just the slightest bit of tinge of bitterness from the hops. A little bit of resinous notes from the hops that are, you know, combining with the lactose and that fresh pineapple, orange, papaya. Again, tropical kind of kiwi note to it. It gives it a little bit of twang. There are some of these lactose double IPAs that are kind of just, I wouldn't say one-sided, but they're just pineapple bombs that I've noticed. Or they could just be orange, or they're just something like that, which, again, there's nothing wrong with that. This is an A+. This is an A+++++ on steroids. They don't get better than this. Now, I've had IPAs from other half that I liked better than this. But when I say they don't get better than this, I mean there's not another brewing company out there besides other half that could ever equal this, that at least that I'm familiar with. You know, I try to be as subjective as possible. I don't like to put in my own opinions. I like just to be as honest and forward about each beer that I sample and review for you guys, to give you the most definitive explanation of flavor profile, appearance, aroma, and everything like that. I don't want to be biased. But I've had Eagle Park beers. I've had Alchemist beers. I've had Treehouse. I've had Three Floyds. I've had all of these big name Untitled Art, Microphone, IPA brewing companies that make IPAs, and nothing even comes close to what Other Half has to offer. I've had Other Half on tap. I believe it was double dry hopped all green everything by Other Half. I believe that's the beer I had on tap in Buffalo, New York. That when they tapped it, I was 10 feet away, okay? When they poured it into the glass straight from the tap, I could smell that, man. And that's just something that just doesn't happen. This is the epitome of what all IPAs wish they could be. The one thing that I have noticed, though, in the beer community, people are on one side or the other. They either love New England style IPAs, or they hate them. I've not met anyone that says, well, you know, New England style IPA, they're okay. That that really doesn't happen, at least that I'm familiar with or that I've come in contact with. I've had a lot of people even talk down about these beers because they're so unlike the standard beer. They're so unlike the West Coast bitter, resinous, viscous malt backbone IPA like Dogfish Head makes, or Sierra Nevada makes, or Three Floyds makes, things like that. They're so on the opposite end of the spectrum that people think that these, oh, you can't enjoy this. You're not, you can't drink this beer. And just to be completely honest, I've had a guy tell me that New England IPAs were bitch beers, which just is mind blowing to me because at the end of the day, when you're doing a review, especially if you want to be as professional as possible, you can't be opinionated because it's not about your personal opinion. It's about the quality of the beer at the end of the day. You know, I don't like lagers myself. I don't care for them at all. But there are some that I've had that are fantastic, and there's some that I've had that I've not personally cared for that are just great. But, you know, it's not my style. I prefer ales, which the double IPA is. Ale being top fermenting yeast, lager being bottom fermenting yeast. But this is special. I can't go any deeper than that. This is something that I'm going to remember. I'm going to save the can. I have a collection of beer bottles and beer cans of things that I find rare, unique, and special that I just can't throw away because even though I remember drinking them most of the time, they hold something dear to my heart. Bright, sweet, fresh. It's got an ever so subtle dankness to it. And what I mean by that is there are some of these IPAs that have that kind of cannabis, weedy kind of finish to them. The dankness that everyone is talking about when they speak of these IPAs. And that's what that is. That's that because hops and cannabis are actually sort of related in the plant species. I should say they're kind of like distant cousins of plant species. But big notes of pineapple, papaya, tropical kiwi, resinous, dankness, fresh, vanilla almost, creamy mouthfeel to it. This is a one-of-a-kind beer, and I know I'm usually do about 10-minute or less beer reviews, but I'm kind of, extending these reviews, especially on the more special beers that I really want to get the information out there. We at Hartfelt Beer Reviews, we really greatly appreciate all of our viewership from all of our viewers. Like I said, we don't have a lot of followers, but you know what? It's the quality of the followers and not the quantity of the followers. The people that are following us are reputable, are respected, are well-known and informed on their beer. And we appreciate that wholeheartedly, and we like to get our exposure out as much as we possibly can. In the next couple of days, I'm going to be just cranking out as many beer reviews as my body can handle because I have slacked on this. This has been something I've wanted to do for a long time, and with my partner Jonathan Troville at Hartfelt Beer Reviews, we plan on continuing this process up until the earth implodes from quarantine. I mean, if this is the end, which I don't think it is, what a way to go out than fresh New England style, other half equilibrium beer, barrel-aged imperial stouts. You name it, we've got it in our fridge. Again, thank you. This has been Other Half in Equilibriums. Dreamwave Fluctuation, 8.1% alcohol, double lactose IPA. Thanks for stopping by. Hope to see you again soon. Cheers.